let's talk about your email conversion rates as well as your landing page conversion rates. One of the main things to do, well, actually not the main, but one of the several things that you can do to improve your conversion rates is to actually work on your calls to action. Now, as I get into this, I just want to point out, I give credit where credit is due. This is inspired by a Twitter post by Jeremy Moser at jmoser with 2 R's at the end on Twitter. Give him credit where credit's due. Okay, so there's lots of different things you can test on a landing page. What the language is in the button is not the first one. Start with that headline. That's almost always the thing that'll move the needle the most. A pre-head that puts it in context, who you're talking to, and then the headline, what problem you're going to solve, and then the description. But somewhere around number 5 on the page, you should look at testing the words in your calls to action, your CTAs. And so what we're going to do in this is we're going to talk about some of those options to improving those calls to action. Obviously, the first thing to do is to test. There's multiple different options you can do here, and no one is going to be instantly better for every single situation. All right, so several things. First one is consider using soft calls to action. Not buy now, not register for the webinar now, those kinds of things that are hard actions, soft actions. Things like discover, take the quiz, view listings, see your options, those kinds of things that don't feel as high pressure. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes will get a higher click-through rate. Obviously, you're going to want to test. Next is to put urgency into that button. So expires in 4 days. Yes, that's a hard urgency. There's also soft urgency that you can put in. For example, reserve your spot today. That still gives you the word today, gives you that urgency without having to have a deadline on the other side. So for example, let's say you're trying to get people to opt in. And so it's like, get your report today. And so it doesn't have to have a hard deadline that ends Friday night at midnight. Next, look at this concept of instant gratification. What can you do to help somebody to instantly improve whatever their situation is? For example, talk with us now. All right, so that's going to give you instant gratification. You're giving somebody the option to chat or talk with us now, or see this on your website right now if you've got a tool that you put on people's websites, those kinds of things. Here's a little interesting formula. Verb, value, urgency. Like get, dropped it. Sorry about that. So get your 20-minute menus now. So verb, value, urgency. Put those 3 things together into a button, and it may just significantly outtest the other ones that you're looking at. Another one that a lot of us don't look at, we used to 10 years ago look at this all the time, is look at social proof. How can I add social proof actually to the call to action? Not by putting testimonials on the page, but actually put it on the call to action. So one option is, if you're getting people to subscribe for something, you give them the number of people who've already subscribed underneath. So if there are 43,221 people who have already subscribed to that, put that number, 43,243 subscribers. Another one is to actually put little pictures of people who are members, who are subscribers underneath. So they see there's a whole lot of people who have already done what you are asking them to do. This is part of the Provely and those kinds of things where you'll be on a website and something comes up that says, hey, so-and-so just bought this 18 minutes ago, or so-and-so just from Montana just subscribed. All of those are elements of social proof. A final one, getting all choked up here. Okay, a final one is first person. In fact, this probably should have been first, but in the spirit of recency and primacy, I'm going to show it to you last because it's also important. I oftentimes find that the single biggest thing that I can do to improve is to put it in first person. Give it to me now. I want it now. I want to do this, whatever. So me, I, first person, that tends to, for whatever reason, not quite sure why, tends to generate more clicks on your button. So again, just to reinforce, as you're testing, what's on the words that are on the button are not the primary thing to test, but they can also influence it. Start with that headline, the pre-headline, then get into the bullet points of what you offer, then start looking at what the words are that are in that button. A lot of people fixate on the color of the button. I found that the color is not nearly as effective as long as it's a unique color as the words that are in the button. So all these things are elements to be tested. Please do. They'll improve your conversion rate. What's been your experience with doing this? What works for you the best? Share those in the comments so that we can all gain from this. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.